Must have got too much sleep last night because I haven't spilled anything so far, and I am hitting all the right buttons so far. So that's a good thing. Today I want to talk to you about moving past your myths to succeed in a shifting real estate market. And first of all, if you're getting tired of hearing the word shift and you're getting tired of hearing shifting market, I apologize. And I guess get used to it because it's here for a while. The last time the market shifted, it took 4 years for things to even out and for the market to start making a comeback. Now, am I saying I think it's going to be the same thing this time? No, I don't. Do I think that market values are going to drop like they did last time? No, I don't. Do I think market values are going to drop? Yes, I do. It's just common sense. When there's more competition for buyers and buyers are more reluctant to make offers, a seller that's motivated to sell their home is going to drop their price in order to win that competition. And as soon as that happens, prices start to drop. It's the same thing as when in a hot market, a seller gets 20 offers on a property and buyers outbid one another in order to buy the property. They're raising the value of real estate in that particular neighborhood. The market's increasing because buyers are bidding it up. Well, as things slow down like they are now, sellers will start bidding it down because you go from a market where sellers are competing for few buyers to a market where buyers are competing for few listings. You go from a market where buyers are competing, a lot of buyers are competing for just a few listings, to a market where there's more sellers competing over fewer buyers. All right. I went online this morning and I just did some broker metrics updates. And one of the things that I did today, and I like to look at different things, is I looked at the top 25 agents in our market. And all I did was look to see where is their business in the last 6 months compared to the previous 6 months. In other words, is it up or down? And this is the top 25 agents in our market. And 75% are down. That should not surprise you. Now, I was glad to see that there was a number of agents from our office in that group. And I was glad to see, if I said surprised to see, I didn't mean that. I was glad to see that there was a number of agents from our office in that group. And I was glad to see that most of them have had sales increase. Matter of fact, I'll give you one example. So Sender, good guy. Love this guy. He joined us from 100% company just over a year ago. And his sales have increased by more than 125% since joining Keller Williams Coral Springs. And he was successful before he came here. The year before he came here, his closed production was $5 million. So he was a successful agent. And in the year since joining our company, going from 100% company to a training and coaching based company, his sales have increased by 125%. So there's a plug for Keller Williams. All right. So the cause and challenge of a shift. By the way, all of my notes are coming from pages 49 through 52 in Shift. The cause and challenge of a shift is motivation. Write it down, write it down, write it down. When a market has shifted, what really happened is that buyer and seller motivation has changed. And think about this. Again, it's common sense. As inflation continues to go up, as interest rates continue to go up, and market values have gone up substantially over the last 3 years, you eventually price a group of buyers out of the market. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And does it make sense that buyers might be less motivated to buy when interest rates are 6% versus 2%? Does it make sense that they're less motivated to buy when inflation is a 40-year high. And buyer mentality goes from there's no price too high to there's no price too low. And it's a conversation. The point is motivation. Whenever and wherever economics shift, so does motivation. I mean, isn't that what I just said? Mm-hmm. Now that's directly from Gary Keller, and he said it a lot better than I did. And whenever and wherever economics shift, so does motivation. This makes sense, right? Write it down, write it down, write it down. By the way, all of these notes, everything that I'm sharing with you, remember, this is not for entertainment because I'm not that entertaining until I spill coffee all over the place, and then that's fun. Write these things down. These are not just notes for you to learn and grow in order to become the local economist of choice, in order to become a strategic pricing professional. It's also conversations for you to have with sellers when you're sitting at that kitchen table to help them understand, listen, the market today is different than the market 6 months ago. Otherwise, they're going to price their home based on a mentality that we're still in this red hot market. Mm-hmm. And even though there's a lack of inventory, still inventory's on the rise. And the balance is not what it was 6 months ago. All right. And this becomes the number one challenge of a shift. The number one challenge of a shift is finding the motivated. Please write it down. Your job every day when you wake up is find the motivated. You know, think about it from lead generate like a duck. The duck's job every day is to go out and quack until they find the one person who's going to feed them. Because remember, they go up to everybody, quack, quack, quack. And what are they saying? Feed me. And for the people who are new to Survive to Thrive, they're like, what in the world is this guy talking about? Just YouTube, lead generate like a duck. You'll find out. All right. So they're quacking to everybody who walks by, Madeline, right? And who are they looking for? That one person who brought food to feed the ducks. And remember, they didn't bring bread because bread's not good for ducks. Okay, got to get that PSA out there because I don't want to be responsible for ducks getting sick. That would just be awful. I can get sued by the National Duck Association.
Yeah.
There's one, right?
Shirley, talk to me.
Can I say they're looking for someone that is ready, willing, and able?
Praise God. Yes, that. Shirley, you're my new favorite. They are looking for somebody who is ready, willing, and able. Holy cow. First of all, everybody's able because everybody has something in their kitchen that they could feed to their ducks, right? Yeah. Now, ready, willing, maybe not. All right, your number one job every day is to go out and find somebody who's motivated. And that means somebody who is what? Somebody is what? What's the definition of motivated?
Somebody who's ready, willing, and
ready, willing, and able. And just like a duck ain't going to stop quacking until they find that one person who feeds them, you're not going to stop until you find that one person who is ready, willing, and able. And that's the difference between failure and success in any market. It's absolutely the difference between failure and success in this market. Boy, I hope you guys get this because this is such a difference maker. You want to get one thing that's going to turn your real estate business around? This is it. Lead generate to find the motivated and don't stop until you do. And remember, you don't have to do whatever it takes, but you have to be willing to do whatever it takes. That's the difference maker. It's not doing whatever it takes. It's the willingness to do whatever it takes. The number of sellable leads has decreased dramatically, and the reason is motivation. It's almost as if, listen to this, because this is another kitchen table conversation. It's almost as if all the buying and selling of the past sellers market has borrowed against the buyers and sellers of this market. So, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, we're putting your home on the market. It's July. And I promise you, there are a group of people who were going to buy summer of 2022. That was their plan. And then they started reading articles on this incredible, hot, crazy market back in the second and third quarter of 2021. And they bought in 2021 because the market was hot. It was amazing. Prices were soaring. We were borrowing buyers that would normally be buying a home today. They bought back in the second and third quarter of 2021. And we have a smaller group now. We don't only have a smaller group, we have a smaller group that's less motivated. Okay. Motives have narrowed significantly, and fewer buyers and sellers pass the clear-cut motivation test of being ready, willing, and able. Fewer buyers can afford to, have the desire to, or are prepared to buy now at market prices. You know who's buying today? People who have to. That's who's buying. People who are relocating. People whose family is getting bigger, right? And they have to buy a bigger home because they can no longer put those 4 kids in one bedroom. They've got to get them in different bedrooms, right? People who have to. Those are the people who are buying today. So this is why you must ramp up your lead generation, because there are less of the motivated to find. There are less of the motivated to find. Therefore, you must ramp up your lead generation. Now, remember, even though I'm sharing all of this data that's showing you that we're in a different market, there are still thousands of people who are buying and selling real estate. Even back in 2006 and 7, when the market was crashing, I mean, that was truly a bubble burst. This is not a bubble burst. This is a correction. It's not a bubble burst. Even back then, we went from 6.4 million homes sold in the United States in 2005 to 5.2 million homes sold in 2007. Now, is that a significant decrease? Yes. Is 5.2 million homes still a lot of homes being sold? Yes. Matter of fact, 5.2 million homes sold is the same number that was sold in 2003. And in 2003, the entire real estate world was celebrating this amazing hot market. Perspective. This is when true competitive nature of our business reveals itself, and you realize it's time to stop trying to get your fair share and go get your unfair share. This is when you're at a party, there's 10 people there, you order 2 large pizzas, 20 slices, everybody gets 2, life is good, and they only deliver 1. And now there's 10 slices and there's 10 people. And if I'm at that party, I'm still getting my 2. I don't know about you. You're going to have to figure that out because I'm going to get my unfair share. I don't care if you eat. How's that feel? All right, so we got these myths, and we're going to remove some of these myths. And this is what's stopping you from being a master lead generator. And lead generating to find potential customers might not be your favorite subject. Well, that's earth-shattering. Hashtag sarcasm. However, the bottom line is without motivated leads, there are no people to help. Buckling down and getting serious about lead generation creates magic. The more you do it, the better you will get. And the better you get, the more you will enjoy it. So if you don't like lead generation, and most people don't, I'm one of the weird few that do love lead generation. However, if you're one of the many who don't, the magic for you is to get serious, to buckle down, and to get into lead generation to find the motivated. And the more you do it, the better you will get. And the better you get, the more you will enjoy it. Think back to something that you think back to something you enjoy doing now that at one point you really didn't enjoy it. Okay, maybe it's a sport, maybe it's an art, maybe it's painting, maybe it's golf, basketball, tennis. I don't know. Something you enjoy doing. At some point, though, you really didn't like it until you did it and you got a little better and a little better and a little better. And then all of a sudden you found yourself really enjoying this. Well, this time is kind of like that time. Lead generation is no different. If you don't enjoy it, the secret to enjoying lead generation is doing it. The more you do it, the better you will get. The better you get, the more you will enjoy it.
Like going to the gym.
Like going to the gym. Like, I don't care, I want to go to the gym, right? Until you become addicted to going to the gym. Until it becomes, oh my gosh, that day is just not the same unless I go to the gym.
True.
There you go.
True.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yes.
Okay,
That's where I'm at.
you might feel as if you are too busy and you can't find time to lead generate. However, it's not really an issue of having time, but an issue of making time to lead generate and then protecting it. It's not an issue of having time. It's an issue of making time and then protecting it. Put it in your calendar. Bold law. If it's not in your calendar, it doesn't exist. Is lead generation in your calendar? Prove it. Show me. Protecting it means build a bunker, Desiree. Build a bunker so that nobody can get inside that bunker. This is your protected area, Juanita, that you don't allow anybody in because you understand that until lead generation is done, check. That means you've completed the activities of lead generation today. Until lead generation is done, everything else and everyone else, Nick, is a distraction. Got a minute? No, I don't. Lead generating. If you walk into Gary Keller at Keller Williams Realty International and he's walking down the hall and you walk up to Gary Keller and ask him, got a minute? First of all, don't ever do that. Okay. But if you do, I know what his response is going to be because he told me. Not because I asked him, but because I was in a mastermind and Gary was sharing this story. If somebody came up to Gary Keller in the office and said, hey, Gary, you got a minute? His response was, no, I don't. And why do you?
Wow.
How do you like that?
Yeah.
There you go. What if you believe that you don't know what to do or say, and you are afraid of making a mistake? Oh boy, this is the getting ready to get ready group. Madeline raised her hand. That's me. This is the getting ready to get ready group. Once I've done, then I'll lead generate. Okay. Shut up and get on the phone and talk to people. Sorry. What if you believe that you don't know what to say and you are afraid of making a mistake? The more you get after it, the more you will discover that lead generation is nothing more than a set of tasks and skills that are well documented. On top of being a transaction, knowledge, and service business, our industry is a script and dialogue skill-based business. In other words, master the conversations of real estate, and lead generation becomes fun, becomes easy, becomes enjoyable. Time on task over time is the simple secret that will help you master lead generation. Okay, talk to me. What'd you guys hear? What are you going to do different? What are you going to implement? What one thing is going to change for you? Megan, talk to us.
So this reminded me of a conversation that I just had with my significant other.